welcome aboard. Make sure to get your water, coffee, whatever you need, because we're going to be engaging today. The agenda, as I mentioned, we have awesome presenters. But before we jump into anything, like we started last time, I would love to hear or read on the chat how everybody's feeling. So let's take a moment, take a deep breath. Let's dig in to how we feel and share. We are almost to the end of this calendar year. This is the last meeting for service providers. Talk to me. How's everybody feeling? You feeling stressed? You feel good? Sarah, I feel you. Yeah. All right, well, if you still want to continue to put it on the chat, please do so. I do save it. I appreciate that. We will go ahead and continue, because the first thing that we will jump into now will be our chat with the one and only, one of the Head Start recruiters, service providers. Why did I say recruiters?
Yes, not recruiter.
Norma. You know, Norma is really close to me here. She's really close by. And I feel like I don't see you a lot, Norma. I think that's my fault. I don't think that's your fault. I think it's my fault.
Yeah, I guess it's your fault.
Probably.
Because you don't visit us. You don't visit our location.
I've done it like twice, and I don't think that's enough.
I think.
But you might regret it. Right. But anyways, Norma, good to see you. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. Not only just chilling as a service provider here during the session, but you're gonna share with us, right?
Yes.
All right. Well,
Norma, try.
Talk to us. I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us about who you are. Let people know over here.
Okay. Well, again, my name is Norma Aguilar, and I'm a service provider here in the Hastings area, and I cover like different counties. And I've been here like for quite a bit, almost 8 years now. And so I'm happy with my job and what I do here.
Gotcha. So we've had the blessing to have you for 8 years. That's awesome.
Yes, almost 8 years.
So where did we poach you from? I mean, how did we get you to start with us here at MEP?
I just started in 2015. I moved from Iowa, and I was looking for a job, and I found out that Head Start had a position available. So I did fill out an application, and I got, a phone call. I come and do my interview and everything, but it was a different position. It wasn't for migrant. It was for a Head Start position. So I did my interview, and then I got a phone call, and they said, the job is yours. So, but it wasn't what I expected, because it was just a few hours. I mean, it wasn't like what I was looking for. So then I mentioned this to the HR person, and I said, well, I would like something with more hours. And she said, well, if you take this position now, I mean, if something else comes up, you can apply for another position. And I said, well, okay. And then I decided to take that position at that time. And then a week later, I mean, even before I started with Head Start, they called me back to offer me this position. But it was only like a part-time job, but it was better with more hours than compared to the other position. So I took this position, and only with a part-time. And later on, like 2 years later, I got more hours. So that's what I'm doing now.
That's pretty cool. So what you said you came from Iowa? Why did you end up here in Hastings from Iowa?
Because, like all Latinos, we love to be close to our family. Oh, so yeah. I didn't have anybody back there. And so I decided to get here with close to my family.
So you're originally from here?
Yeah, I have all my siblings here in Hastings and my parents.
Wow. When did that start? Were you born in Hastings? You were Hastings?
No, actually, no. I'm original from San Luis Potosí,
Eso.
Mexico. And then I came here when I was like 19. I was, like kind of old. But yeah, I had the opportunity to go to high school here, and I got my high school diploma.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So you left and you came back. Well, we're very glad. And that's awesome. I'm glad you advocated for more hours and that things worked out
Yes.
to get you to
Yeah.
MEP.
Yep.
I've only heard good things from where the areas that you work in. So I'm
Mm.
glad. I'm glad.
Yeah.
When you started working with us, when did you see that this was the position for you and that you wanted to stay for 8+ years and many more to come?
Yes. Well, as I mentioned, the first 2 years I worked only like 28 hours.
Mhm.
So, I had to complete home visits and all that, but I didn't have a lot of responsibilities, because of the hours that I work. But then, like that was a good start because I realized, after like having that relationship with families, listening to all the situations that they go through when they come here, uh, it's amazing for me, like how they can overcome all those situations. And I said, well, I really like, just to see how can I help to with every situation that they have. Sometimes they have only like personal problems and or things related with the kids at school or any different situations. So I really liked to see how can I help. And I said, well, that's why I asked for more hours because I wanted to serve more families and just try to see the way I can help, I can support. And I'm very familiar with kids like me that we come here knowing nothing and you really struggle. It's hard, but you can do it. I
Yeah.
mean, and I try to encourage all those new kiddos that come here that, I mean, everything is possible. You can do whatever you are willing to do. I mean, if you really have the passion to do something, you can make it work.
Yes. Oh man, you gave us a lot. I have several questions, but the first one, so I try to go in line with your timeline here in Hastings. So when you first got here at 19, you mentioned, that you had your struggles. What are some of the things that you struggled with when you first came to Hastings when you were 19?
Like the school, I was so afraid because I heard stories about, well, everybody, it's like making fun of the kids that don't speak English, or they, like, well, I didn't hear back then about bullying or anything, but I was so afraid to say, to know, like, to find out what I'm expecting, I didn't know how school was going to be for me and how difficult it was going to be just to get the language because, I came here knowing nothing. And so I did my best. I mean, we had a class, I remember in high school that you have to speak in front of everybody in front of the class. And I was like, how am I gonna do that if I don't know the language? And you know what? I can realize after, like several peers that they step in front of the class and they cannot even talk. And they knew how to speak English and everything. And they said, everything is possible. If you wanna do something, you can do it. So I was like really I really understand the way the kids come here. And I'm so proud of some students that just continue their studies and no matter, I mean, what is the obstacle, you can go through and make it work.
Yeah, no, and we're proud of you for overcoming that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
hard. For sure. Well, you talked about, the conversations that you get to have with families when you visit in their homes.
Mhm.
What were some of the, or a story of a challenging situation when you were supporting a family?
Yes. See, one time we had a family, they were two twins and they came here, each parent with kids. So they came here and so one of them, had a baby, and he was like 7 months. The baby was like 7 months old, and she didn't have, like formula or anything for the baby, and the baby was sick. They didn't have like health coverage or anything. So how? I mean, she didn't have a job. The dad was deported to their home country, and so we have to find a way to help her. I mean, she was here without any support. And Claudia and I remember we started, looking for donations. We found, we got formula at that time, some food. We had to refer her to get some food. And, sometimes it's like more like she was here without her husband. That was the big support. He was the one that was providing, like economical support. And she was here without nothing, and we have to start. Sometimes I wish we can do more, but until certain point, I mean, we can do so much. And it was really hard for her. She ended up moving back after like several months. She moved back to Guatemala, but it was really hard just to see how she struggled. And we tried to do our best, to support her, but it is hard sometimes. We don't have that resources here to help her stay for a long period. I mean, she didn't have a job or anything, so it was hard.
Oh yeah, that's difficult, right? When very limited.
Yep.
For sure. No, that's awesome that you guys were able to do everything possible for that family. Yeah. Well, in the other side, have you had some I'm sure you have a lot of stories, but can you please share with us one story of success when serving our families and our students across your region?
Yes, and I remember one thing that I never forget is this. When I maybe was within my first year that I was here, I remember that there was this senior, this girl that was she was struggling, with a couple classes, and she was at risk of not graduating. And so she kind of have like, I don't know if it was like learning problems or another health condition that she wasn't able to retain, information. So for her, it was really hard to complete test, or if she has to read something, she was struggling like with comprehension. And so we start helping her, but we didn't have a tutor at that time at school, so we try to help her here. So she didn't drive, her mom was busy, working, and she didn't have time to bring her here to the Head Start building. So we had to go and pick her up to her home after school and bring her here to the Head Start building. That way somebody here, myself, Kathleen, and Holly, we all can help her, reading the questions or reading the test for her. And she was able to, I was so proud of her because she was able to graduate. She finished everything, and but it's something that I know that without our assistance, she wouldn't make it. I mean, at that time.
Yes. Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool. I love hearing those stories because we see that, the resiliency of our families from everything they do, everything they go through, and how they succeed. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Well, can you, I guess that was a success story, but what has been the moment that you've been the most proud of in your time with us in the last 8 years?
I'm proud that every time that I see a high school student that is able to graduate, for me, it's amazing because, not all come here with the support of their parents. They sometimes are here by themselves. And so when they make it to graduate, for me, it's like, and if I support that kid somehow, for me, that make me proud. I mean, that I'm able to support somehow, even only with emotional support. I had a student that she was struggling because she thought that she was not going to be able to continue her studies just because she wasn't able to apply for FAFSA. And she thought, well, that last year she was like, oh, why should I, keep going? She was going to give up just because she thought that she was not going to be able to get the assistance to continue with college. So then I just had to, let her know, I mean, if you work hard now, you will see your results at the end. Just focus right now on finishing high school, and then we'll see later. So she ended up getting the Susan Buffett scholarship, and she currently is attending UNK, and she's going there. So, and I said, see, I mean, you can be proud that you work hard, but sometimes, I mean, I'm not taking the credit, but just if you support the person, if you support the student, I mean, they can make big things.
Yes, that's really cool. Seeing them take that extra step.
Yes.
It's awesome. Yeah, regardless of of what's in front of them, they make it happen. Good job, Norma. Good job. Last question for you. What tips would you have for service providers that are in their first year in the job?
I think most of all, just you have to build a relationship with the families and the students you serve. Build trust, because I mean, if they trust you, they can make your work really simple and easier. I mean, sometimes you have trouble getting a hold of families, but if they trust you, they answer. I mean, I never have problems with them. I mean, because they know they can trust me. If they ask me for something, they're sure that I'm gonna try to do my best to help her or provide some resource or help to resolve their situation. And honestly, I feel bad when I'm like, I wish I can do more, but I always try. I mean, if I don't know what to do, I always come with my coworkers, do you know of any resource that maybe I can offer this family? And I think that also helps a lot if you work as a team. If you have coworkers around, just try to, talk to them or to your supervisor. And that really has worked for me. I mean, we have a really good team here. Claudia, Ceci, Kathleen, I mean, they're really helpful. I mean, for my.
Yes, that's good. So build trust, have a strong team, work together. Yeah, that is the dream. That is the dream. Yeah. Norma, any final thoughts?
No, just do your best. I mean, for all service providers, do your best and enjoy what you do. Yes. And happy holidays to everybody.
Enjoy what you do and happy holidays. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Norma. Let's give her a round of applause. Did the sound effect go through? Because I really worked hard on that. Yeah. Hey, I made it work finally. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Norma. We appreciate your time and your insights into not only you, but the world of MEP in the Head Start region. Well, we will move forward. And today for our best practice, we have the one and only ESU 13, Tammy Miller. Tammy, welcome. And the time is yours.
Hello. Well, mine's going to be kind of short and sweet, I think, but I am going to share with you guys a little bit about what I do with my student folders. I don't use these for every school or every student. It just kind of depends on the kid and the teachers. But I have one day where all of my students are kind of back to back. And so it's really hard to go from a fourth grader to my kindergartner and kind of keep my activities and stuff straight. And so when I first started, which was almost 2 years ago, I had just a folder for each day or for each school. And so I would keep just extra worksheets in that folder. I would keep just kind of a couple books, just kind of all of my kind of extra stuff or even activity things that I wasn't doing more hands-on, but more like extra worksheets or that kind of thing, just to kind of keep straight. And towards the end of last year, I had a couple students that just kind of needed a little bit more, and my folders were really ratty and terrible. So I started making separate student folders, and it really started to kind of work for me. And then I kind of also, beginning of this year, for my students, I was training Jane, and she was kind of shadowing me, and she kind of, me and her kind of, I think, kind of are on the same wavelength a lot with different activities and things. And so she kind of was doing folders, and she added like a sticker sheet. And so I kind of latched onto that also. So anyway, my folders, this is just kind of an example, but this is kind of what I kind of took from Jane. So a praise chart for every day we work together. They get a sticker if they do their best. And so at the end of the line, they get to pick something out of the treasure bag. At the beginning of my folder, I keep here kind of the things that we're going to be working on for the day. And so I update that every week when I do my lesson planning. And so this is a book that we've been kind of working on when we've got time. This is also a fourth grader. And so for next week, like, we're going to be doing a snow science experiment. I have a couple extra multiplication worksheets that we've been working on. And then in the back, I have extra stuff. So if she's not wanting to do math that day, or if she's having a rough day, for this particular student, we've been also working on a lot of self-esteem things. She's in a new school, and building new friends in fourth grade is hard. So I've got kind of some stuff for that. So that really has seemed to work really well for me. I don't do it for every school or every student. Like I said, a lot of my students this year, I'm kind of pushing into the classroom. So those kids, I obviously have to kind of just follow what the teacher wants. And so we don't do folders at all, but I always keep stuff in my bag or my crate just in case, because some days the teacher will be like, it's kind of crazy, why don't you guys work out in the other room? And then I have a little bit more, of a independence on what I can work with that student on. Let's see. Oh, also, I kind of forgot about this too, but I've been kind of really making notes for myself too for every week. So in most of my folders, I'll make like a little sticky note. And like this next week, I have a lot of my kids are doing the same thing, but I have a couple that don't like to get their hands dirty or aren't in love with science experiments. And we'd rather do, like, they honestly would rather read and do worksheets, which is kind of crazy to me, but that's what they do. So anyway, that just kind of keeps me straight. So when I drop off one kid, I go pick up another one, and I come back, the kids know just to either go in my bag if their folders aren't out, or they'll go in my crate, they find their folder. They either will read what we're doing for the day, or my kiddos that can't read will sound it out together, and we'll work on that. So it's kind of like it's part of their routine, and they know. And it just, I don't know, it works really, really well. And I was trying to look this morning, I found a couple pictures which aren't great, but for our parent nights, which I've only done one, this was my first one, but it really worked well to have the folders out. And then that way, and I don't know, can you guys see the picture?
Yes. Yes, it's going through.
Then that way the parents, like at the beginning, when they were kind of trickling in, kind of was looking, they were able to look and see what the kiddos are doing. Not every kid wants to put their stuff in their folder. A lot of them will take them home with them. But the kids that want them to be put in their folder, I just kind of do my 3-hole punch, and I kind of just collect it that way. And then at the end of the year, they will take them home. And then here's just an example of some kiddos with their folders. They're pretty proud of them. And I feel like there's something else. Oh, the stuff that I do send home, like worksheet wise, I do put a little sticker, like a Title I-C sticker on the corner. So that way, when mom and dad gets them at home, when they're taking out their other schoolwork, they'll see that, oh, Miss Tammy was with you. I also try to text updates and pictures to my parents after, kind of at the end of the day. Some parents really, really love it. Others, I don't think they really care do much. So that's why I like doing the sticker too. So that way they kind of just know that I was there. And like, this is what we did. So I hope that's kind of what you were wanting, Cesar. Sorry if it's not.
Awesome. Well, I have a question for you. So tell
Okay.
me, I'm a service provider and I want to start doing this. What should be my first step?
They're pretty easy. I have some that are super basic. And I have like another school where I work with kids that aren't in the program, but they come to me with kiddos that are. And so those literally just, I still have a praise chart, but I kind of do the same thing with those guys, but it's just kind of a little bit, I don't know. It's not as thorough. And it is helpful too, because then that way these kids kind of talk, they bring it home and they talk about our program to their mom and dad. And so I've had people ask from that. So that's been kind of fun. So literally just grab a folder. It doesn't even have to be a pocket folder. But I liked those because that way I could kind of keep things a little bit more organized. Normally these are kind of full. Lately, my kids have been doing more hands-on things. So we've been not doing much of the worksheet route. But they're pretty simple. Once you get started, it should really go from there. And the treasure, I don't know about Jane where she got hers, but the praise chart for the sticker chart, I found that on Pinterest and it was free. Worksheet wise, most everything I get is from Pinterest. Jane lately has sent me a couple really cute links to free do-a-dot worksheets and that kind of thing for, you know, winter or Christmas themed. So that's been fun. So yeah.
Awesome. Tammy, that's really cool. That's really cool. I think I got to see this at work. I got to see Tammy doing this with the kids, and the ownership that the kids had over that was amazing. I was very amazing. That's really cool. I hope that this helps people. And Tammy, you are available, right? If we have more questions.
Yes, absolutely. You can always text or call me. I just moved now from out in the country, so I have service. Before you could like text or email me and like I might get it like in an hour or two, but now like my phone actually works, so it's pretty fun. So yeah, you guys can always call or text me on the little app. I'm on there. So yep, I'd love to help.
That's a plus, getting moved. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions before I do a great sound effect for her?
I have a question. Tell me, you said you have worksheet that you want to work on with them for the week or for the day. Are those not from the teacher, but you printed out from?
No, nope. And it changes by week. So some weeks I do have teachers that give me stuff like if the kiddo's been out sick, we work on makeup homework. If they're struggling, you know, on most of the time it's math. If they're struggling with some math problems or math worksheet needs more time, teacher will bring that to me. I have really great communication with all my teachers and really all of my parents too. I feel like I know anyway what kids need to work, what each student needs to work on. And so that helps me pick out what kinds of worksheets that I do take. So like, for instance, for Brant's, so like next week we're doing like a snow blizzard experiment. And so I have this for him just in case. If he doesn't want to do that experiment, I have, according to his teacher, he really needs help identifying numbers and math. He's struggling on that. And so I have some like Christmas counting sheet, this is from Jane. She sent some really cute do-a-dot Christmas marker stuff. So I'll put different numbers 1 through 10. He's a kindergartner. And so I'll put different numbers in my little do-a-dots, and then the special circle markers, they'll go and I'll say, okay, color all the number ones red. And so he'll go and find number ones or whatever. And so if we don't work on it next week, it's fine. A lot of that, most of it, I will save in their folder, and I'll either save it for next week or I'll put it in the back for at a later date when he does have extra time or wants to do-a-dots or whatever counting. I'll be able to kind of just switch it around that way. I don't know. Does that answer your question? Sorry.
Yes, it does. Because I work with a lot of elementary and students, and most of them are this. I have a bucket that's the teacher already provide for me, so they put worksheet in it. So I just wondering, most of the time we do those worksheet from the teacher. So I was wondering,
Yep.
is that okay? We get our own worksheets and.
Yeah, no, that's exactly why I don't do this for every school, because I do have schools that's how they do it. And the teacher is very, I don't want to say controlling, but that's the only word I'm thinking of, but she's very controlled and like, this is what we're doing this week. And so, and they have actually, that's kind of where I got this from, is because one of my classes had actual folders like this for each student. And the teacher would just kind of keep everything that they were missing or needed extra work on in the folder. And so she would just give me the folder at the beginning of the, my work time, my visit time. And so I would sit down with that student and look and see, and we would pick and choose from there. And that teacher in particular was really into worksheets. I think that class, I think they do a lot of worksheets. And so anyway, I got that idea from her, but I kind of run into the same thing with a lot of teachers. And I just kind of always, if I don't have separate student folders for every student, when I go into those classrooms or schools that have kind of those teachers that already have me scheduled and want me to do a certain thing, I always have stuff just in case. Whether it's, like a multiplication game or that kind of stuff. I always have stuff just in case. So that way, if we get done early or if the teacher's not there, sometimes I've run in where there's a sub. And that was kind of early on when I first started, but I kind of was like, oh, I'm going into the classroom, like she's already going to have stuff. So I just would have my pen and pencil and scratch paper, and I'd walk in and there'd be a sub, and I'm like, ah. And so I'm always prepared now, just in case.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great question. And I think, that's a great question. It's coming from, the difference between our regional projects and our district projects. There's that. We have some challenges when we're out in many, many different schools, right, Tammy? And then, for some of us, we get the blessing to still be different schools, but they're in the same district. So they're just differences on what materials we get to use. Tammy, any final thoughts?
No, I just think you guys all do an amazing job. I know recently I shadowed with Sarah down in Sydney, and it's really fun to just watch everybody else and how different everybody does things, but how we all at the end of the day get the job done and do it good. So nope, just Merry Christmas. Everybody enjoy their winter break.
Thank you, Tammy, so much. We appreciate you. And with that, we will move forward with our meeting as the time that many people enjoy. It is our connect time. I'm gonna put you guys into different breakout rooms. I promise you, I've been doing my best to put you in a different kind of room so you get to get different conversations with different people. Please, it will be a time that you probably need your camera. And yeah, we have approximately 12 minutes on the timer, and then we'll pull you back. And I only got a couple updates for you guys, and I believe we're gonna get out just a little bit earlier. Sound good? as requested. I have a few, no, not that. I have a few questions that you guys can look at if you wanna have already kind of a structure in your conversations. It's a few questions just to talk about some of the stuff that's happened this week and how you're feeling. If you want to do that, all you have to do is search bit.ly. I'll put the link on the chat when you guys are put into the rooms. And if you have any questions, you got my number too. You can call me. I think that might be the easiest thing. Have fun. Well, we're going to get out of here in just a second. I promise you, I won't keep you for much longer, but can I get some nods? How did the time go? Was it good? Did you guys have good conversations? Did you want more time? Probably, right? Yeah? Sweet. All right. Well, I will get you out of here. And I just want to give you guys some updates on what's happening in the beginning of 2023. I've sent a couple of emails about it, but I want to just make sure to mention it right here and get any questions. This will be the time for that. But in January, you guys know we have our first and I think only for the year all in-person PD. We're having it twice, the same thing twice, one in North Platte and one in Lincoln. There are the dates. I sent you guys a link of where you find more info and how to register. I will show you how to get to that if you want to get there manually, or you can find the link on the emails. I will send another email before the end of this year to make sure that you guys get registered so we can figure out how many people are going to be there. And you know, what snacks we need. I mean, what? I didn't say that. Who said that? I don't know. So we're going to have to figure that out after you guys register for those PDs. Then a brand new thing. I haven't even told the coordinators, just so you know, this is cool. You guys get the first dibs on this. We're going to be doing for everybody that works with OSY. So remember, only OSY for this one. We're going to have an intense ISOC training. That's going to cover pretty much every area of everything that's provided by ISOC, from the director, from ISOC. The resources are for OSY and secondary level students. Don't forget that. But during this PD, since the one population that we have the least training on is OSY, this 9-hour training will be for just staff that work with OSY.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, Jacqueline. Oh, gosh. It's going to be a commitment from you guys. So please, please make sure to look at your schedules when a full info comes out. And if you're willing to get this training, because there will be no longer saying that, oh, we don't have enough training. We will have it this time. So please get ready. It'll be fun. It's going to be throughout 5-6 months. We're not sure exactly, but it's going to be as fun as we can possibly make it. But it's going to be good information for you guys. I promise that. I can promise that. Next, in March. In March, we're going to have our second PD, you could say, for the year, which will be March 1st. It'll be called Show Me the Data. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a hybrid PD at Grand Island Public Schools Administration Building. That info is also on the link that I sent you guys. And finally, don't forget to save the date for the Parent-Student Conference. That's happening March 18th in Columbus. It's going to be awesome. Final details should be sent out soon. I will send you this link for the video hub that you guys have been told about, right? I hope you guys know that that's where you can find all the information needed for the past videos. Today's video will be uploaded there. I'll make sure to do that before the day ends, and you'll find all the PDs. So make sure to do that. And the last thing we got to do, because we are on this, on this together, we're all going to complete our, let me find the chat. We're going to complete the exit ticket. The exit ticket, please be honest. We want to know how to continue to improve this meeting. This meeting is for you. This meeting is for you, and we want to make it as best as possible. So let me know your feedback on there. So make sure to click on that link. And after you click on that link, you can fill it out. You don't have to stay for the end of the meeting. Thank you all so much. It really is nice to get to see you. I hope you guys have an awesome break, that you're safe, and you get to spend some time with friends and families for whatever holiday or not holiday that you will celebrate. Thank you. And keep on smiling, guys. Keep on smiling. I love it. So that said, I will awkwardly end the meeting.